Hey folks, this is Kalani. The pre-patch event for the War Within expansion hasn't been all too great. The timers are long, only the very start of the event actually matters, so you only have a very short window to get the good rewards from the event. The rate at which you can earn the currency leaves a lot to be desired, and there isn't too much to do in between waiting for the zones to swap over. It's a good thing then that all of that is being thrown out the window and the entire event is being completely revamped. We'll see faster events, better rewards, and you can actually farm the currency properly now and get upgrade materials to upgrade that catch-up gear without having to do any other content. So everything was just made so much better. Let's go over what changed, how the event works now, and how you can take advantage of these updates. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. So the first important change to the event is that the timer is being reduced down to 60 minutes, so the zones will swap over more often, which will give you a change of scenery if you're wanting to farm the events. We're not too sure if the timer will reduce again down to 30 minutes like it was supposed to towards the end of the event, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Curiously, this change doesn't actually mean that much in the grand scheme of things because the entire event has been overhauled and reworked. Previously, only the first 5 to 10 minutes of the zone becoming active really mattered. That's when the actual event was active, where you killed the blob, finished the 6 mini objectives, and then killed the boss. The event just doesn't work like that anymore. While the zone is active, the events and the bosses will spawn over and over again, so you'll be able to farm them as much as you want, earning rewards much faster and way more reliably when compared to before. Instead of the 4 different phases that end up in the zone being more or less useless for the vast majority of its active timer, when you pop down to the active event zone now, you should see this memories meter at the top. If you open your map, you should be able to see the smaller events like the previous phase 2 events all over the zone. Each time one of these is completed, the meter at the top will deplete slightly. When that meter reaches 0%, the event boss will spawn, so you can all then run on over, get some tags in, kill the boss, collect your loot, and then instead of the zone becoming worthless for over an hour, the event just resets back to 100% on the memories meter, and then all of the smaller events start to spawn again. You can deplete that meter as often as you want, as long as there are people clearing the event in the zone, so you can also summon the bosses as many times as you want while the zone is active, so it doesn't matter if you don't get there early enough. The active zone will always be worth heading over to because the boss could spawn at any moment and spawn multiple times, and the events are worth farming now as well. When the 60-minute timer runs out on a zone and a new zone starts up, it's the exact same thing over there. You're just in a different zone with different events, monsters, and of course a different boss to kill. But you can repeatedly farm the events and bosses all day if you really wanted to. So whatever goals you may have in this event, whether you want to farm the currency and buy up all of the rewards, gear up your characters, or level up some alts, all of that just became so much easier, faster, and the event as a whole is just better. You can now engage with it as much or as little as you want, and you don't have to be there right at the start of the zone switch over to get the good rewards, so you can also get these on your own time instead of being forced to follow that 90-minute timer. These changes also make this event so much better for leveling up any of your straggling alts. Because the events are always active and reset when the boss dies, you can constantly farm both of them to get the big chunks of experience over and over again. You'll get a good chunk from both completing a smaller event in the zone and also for killing the boss. Some of the events are also super quick, like just killing a single elite or interacting with a bunch of objects, and with so many players around, they just fly by, and they all seem to reward you with the same experience bonuses. You'll also be earning all of the memories currency from those events on your alts, which you can either spend on gear to quickly gear up at level 70 or just send them to your main to buy the other rewards. I was able to go from just below 68 to 70 in about 8 minutes of farming the event, and that's right at the end of the leveling journey, so I imagine it will be much faster at lower levels. If you have a few alts that are still hanging around the 40s, 50s or 60s and you didn't make a time running character to level that alt or that class to replace it, the changes to this event will now let you level those up incredibly quickly. All of the rewards from the event have also been increased quite significantly. Each of the smaller events that you can complete to reduce the memories meter will reward you with 200 residual memories, as well as whelpling crests, so you can start upgrading your gear by taking part in these events instead of having to look elsewhere for those upgrade materials. The boss kills will reward you with 1,400 residual memories, up from 500, which is almost triple, so killing the bosses will definitely be worth your time now. That's how much you were getting for the weekly quest previously, and with them spawning basically on an endless loop, you should be able to farm this currency significantly faster, and you can actually farm it now instead of just standing around waiting for the 90-minute timer to be up, and then get 5 minutes of content and a pittance of currency. The boss kills also reward you with Drake crests, so you can get both whelpling and Drake crests for taking part in the event now, letting you upgrade your gear even further. The weekly quests for each zone have also been changed. To start with, they're no longer weekly, they've been updated to be daily, so you can pick up and complete these every single day for each zone if you really want to. The rewards have also been increased up to 3,000 memories each, up from 1,500, so you'll get twice as much currency 7 times as often. There is one very important other change to note though: these quests are now warband wide or account wide, meaning you can only complete them once per day per account. This is something else you'll want to get used to with the warband system in place. So you can do them more often, but you can't do them across your entire alt army and then funnel that currency to your main. This is honestly the better way to do these quests anyway, in my opinion. Having alts funnel a currency to your main character is a pretty slippery slope that anyone who played Lost Ark will probably understand quite well. You will still be able to freely transfer the currency though, so don't worry about that. You just won't get any advantage for having and playing multiple alts now. Now, if you're wondering when you can hop in and experience the event in a good state, the answer is right now. All of the changes in this video are already live, so when you next log in to get some event farming done, you should have a much better time and you'll be able to pick up all of the rewards you want much faster. So all in all, the pre-patch event just became a whole lot better. More engaging, more things to do, a better progression for how the events work and trigger, and you can collect the rewards that you're most interested in faster without as much downtime, and then you can also earn upgrade materials to actually upgrade the gear you can get from the event. So huge positive changes all around, but I do worry that the event went live in its previous state. These changes were very quick to happen, which is great. When something isn't very good, the speed at which changes are made are almost as important as the actual changes themselves, providing they're good changes anyway, but I imagine there are quite a lot of folks who logged in on Tuesday, saw the event in its current state, and just decided to wait until the expansion actually launches to come back to WoW. This event shouldn't have gone live in that state, and there was feedback on the PTR about the timing of things, how only the beginning of the event being important was poor design, and how rewards were too slow as well. It makes me worry a little bit that the PTR either isn't getting enough testing, or the patches aren't getting enough internal testing by the right kinds of folks. It's only when the patch hits the much wider live audience that things start to get enough feedback for us to see positive changes. It's kind of interesting and not really in a good way, but at least it's better than no changes, I guess. But I am curious to see how the War Within progresses and whether we see this same kind of pattern repeat itself. But that's how the pre-patch event works now, with all of the changes in place, so that's it for this video. What do you think of the changes and how quickly they have been implemented? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.